Hello and welcome to Comic Book Movie Oblivion, the podcast about feature films based on comic books and comic strips that people have stopped talking about. We are your hosts, Jordan and Kumar, that's me.
And me.
And this week we're talking about Dennis the Menace from 1993.
Yep.
It's the 75th anniversary of Dennis the Menace this month.
Amazing.
Both Dennis the Menaces.
That's crazy. I went away last week, and I already knew that, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah.
My dad had a Dennis the Menace apron when I was a kid.
Right.
Obviously not the American one.
Yeah. You had a Dennis and Nash.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace and Nasha apron.
Yes. The American Dennis the Menace in the UK is called just Dennis.
The film. Oh, yeah, and presumably the comic too.
I believe any version of it is called just Dennis.
Yeah.
And the UK version is sometimes named Dennis and Nasher, or something like that.
Do you want to just jump straight into what the story is here? So there's two versions of Dennis the Menace.
It's not two versions. There's two parallel universe
comics
that
apparently, astonishingly, released on the exact
March
same
12th?
day.
Yes.
I could not... That is just crazy. No, there must have just been something in the air.
Yeah.
Because the two artists, the cartoonists, had no coordination with one another whatsoever. Yeah. The UK version is he has spiky black hair and a dog which also has spiky black hair called Nasha, and it appeared in the Beano.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that one, but it is crazy that they came out at the same time.
It's really weird.
Not like the same day.
The same day.
Boggles the mind. Apparently the UK ones are a bit more menacing than the very...
I imagine so.
Gentle.
He looks more dangerous.
Yes, he does.
Dennis, the American Dennis looks innocent.
Yes.
He looks like an innocent 5-year-old kid. He doesn't look like a troublemaker.
He's not really menacing.
He is a troublemaker, but he's naive about it. He doesn't realize he's causing trouble. He doesn't realize he's annoying people.
Right.
He doesn't realize he's doing stuff.
That's it. That's where the humor comes from.
Dennis and Nasher look like they're out to cause trouble. I've never read it.
Me neither. That's all I know
Just
about
the look of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the strip started in 12th March, 1951. And there was a Sunday strip added in 1952. I will say, I have never seen a Sunday strip.
Of Dennis the Menace.
It's a full strip. The daily is just a single panel.
Yeah.
But the Sunday is like a typical panel.
Got it.
Divided comic strip.
I read that he had a comic book for a while, which maybe was collected Sunday strips.
Maybe, yeah.
But apparently that was not, and wasn't particularly successful.
Right. Okay.
I didn't do a deep dive on the comic this week.
It's created by Hank Ketcham.
Amazing name. Why do all these cartoonists have such cool names? Like Carl Ead.
What's that the name of the guy in Pokemon? What's the name? What's that? Isn't it
Ash Ketchum?
Ash Ketchum?
Oh my god.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think he's named after? Could be.
No, he was like Catch 'em All. That's where his name.
Yeah, of course. But it's a plausible name when you think about it.
Yes.
Because Hank Ketcham.
It is a real name. I will say, I think most people are pretty familiar with Dennis, so we don't need to go too much.
I'm not sure, because my primary exposure to it was this film.
Okay.
So I never saw there was a Saturday morning cartoon.
Couple. I'll go into that. Well,
right.
I'll mention the cartoons now, because there was one cartoon in 86, which ran 76 episodes. Okay. And then there was a tie-in cartoon in 1993 to this movie that had 13 episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
But relevant to us is a live-action television series that aired on CBS from 1959 to 1963. I think the movie we're watching today draws a lot of beats from that TV show.
146 episodes of that.
Yeah, it was very successful.
That kid would have aged out. Dennis has been 5 years old for 75 years.
He was aged up for the TV show. I believe he was 8.
Right, but he wasn't 8 for 4 years.
No, he played him he played him from ages 8 to 12.
Yeah,
and he did age out, obviously.
Yeah.
Presumably he hit puberty around then. Or...
This kid, Jay North. By the way, he also apparently played the character. Jay North played Dennis in a movie called Pepe in 1960.
That I did.
Which was like a movie full of cameos like Mad Mad World or...
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
with all these guest stars coming in, and he came in playing Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
So Dennis there is a previous
kind
Dennis
of like
the Menace
how
movie.
Christopher Lloyd is popping up in movies now as Doc Brown.
Right. Yes. Yes. So,
Christopher, not the last time we'll hear about.
So I
Christopher
guess
Lloyd,
technically Pepe is on the list.
Well, no, because those. That was my first. That would have been my question. Hey, was this a comic book movie?
Yeah.
But no, you said it's just a cameo.
Yes.
So these movies with Doc Brown are not Back to the Future movies.
Well, some Back to the Future fans would say this is canon.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about the other live-action movies when we get to the movie today. Interestingly, I went onto the Wikipedia to read about Dennis the Menace, and it's one of the longest wiki pages. There's descriptions of every single character, all of his friends, very long descriptions, backstories of the dad and Dennis and George Wilson. Every single character has a very long write-up. And they did some math. So it's 75 years. Hank Ketcham retired in 94, and then his assistants took over, his son took over. He passed away, I think in the early 2000s at some point, but it's still going. So if we do the math, let's say there's 300 strips. So we're looking at close to 200,000 dailies. Is that right?
Oh my God.
Have I calculated this correctly? Let's have
live maths.
We'll do some live. Okay, say 350. Yeah, 260,000 strips.
It's a lot of strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still coming out.
So,
I don't know why.
so somebody, and people are obsessed, on Wiki with writing in. Somebody's obsessed with Dennis. Is like, I'm going to go in and write in Margaret's backstory.
Yep.
Everything I know from every strip. Somebody's read all 250,000.
There's a Dennis the Menace super fan.
Also, on the movie, the page for this movie that we're talking about this week, this is one of the longest plot descriptions I've ever seen in a Wikipedia article.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Sometimes
it's not
just one
flagged.
paragraph.
Usually they're flagged when they go that long. But yeah, it's pretty long plot script for a film that basically doesn't have a plot.
And it's only 90 minutes. I was like, wow, this is full on. And it leaves stuff out.
Alright, let's talk about the,
Okay, so the comic, we basically described it, except that Dennis always looks the same.
Yep.
He's got overalls, red overalls if you're reading a Sunday strip or the cover of one of the books. He's 5 years old.
Forever 5.
Yeah. His dad, what was his dad's name?
I don't remember.
He's apparently an aeronautical engineer. Henry. He's got a mom named Alice. Alice is very exasperated by Dennis. Just cannot deal with him. Doesn't know how to handle him. Dad is also... Dad is more bewildered. He's like... he can't believe the kid did this thing, but he doesn't, fly into a rage about it or anything. In fact, I think even Mr. Wilson next door doesn't really rage about Dennis.
No. People are mostly just befuddled or stressed by him, but not... Well, there's not... Because these are single panel, there are some two-panel comic. But, I mean, these are really cartoons, like The Addams Family, Colonel Blimp, or like Family Circus, which this very much reminded me of.
Yeah.
Normally, it will be a really... I do like the art, I must say.
Oh, art's very good.
Amazing. Really beautiful.
Let me... Oh, hang on. There's a quote from R.C. Harvey in the hardcover. Oh, yeah, here it is. I'll just read... R.C. Harvey is one of the major historians of comics. And he says about Hank Ketcham, he was a master technician. His line is always crisp, his black spotted with dramatic precision, his shading and hatchering deployed with varying emphasis, and his graphic invention seems inexhaustible. Within the limited confines of a single-panel cartoon, he constantly found different ways of embellishing, this time with texture, next time with hardy blacks, in stunning contrast to parched white, dropping out segments of the picture to create mute silhouetted shapes within the drawing, contrasting patterns, fat lines and thin lines, mass and shape. Ketcham's drawings are full of telling details that add dimensions of reality to the pictures, and each such detail, whether a simple bud vase on the piano, or a cat arching its back, or tools in the father's workshop, or appliances in the mother's kitchen, or a stack of phonograph records next to a player, or the bark on the trunk of a tree in the backyard, each is rendered in Ketcham's unique manner, each a stylistic triumph, no matter how seemingly inconsequential in the context of the cartoon's gag.
Yeah, this is... But the panels are never cluttered either. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
This isn't like Little Nemo in Slumberland where it's bursting with detail and graphic invention. Instead, it's much more understated.
Yeah.
But it looks a really effective depth. You feel like you're looking through a window at what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like characters in the foreground and background, just really good.
Yes.
Which is good because I don't find these comics particularly funny or interesting.
Yes, I think they're... But I do think he's good at coming in at the right point of the gag. Of coming in on Dennis saying something funny after something's happened. It's hard for me to articulate exactly what I mean.
It's interesting, well, because we've got comic timing in a cartoon that has no action whatsoever. Yeah. In fact, I think the ones where he splits it in two are particularly weak, actually. He works much better with that. Right. We see it we see the aftermath, usually, and then it will have a single caption, a single line, usually only about a dozen words, where it'll be saying something funny that riffs off the picture really well. Yes. There's I didn't really laugh at a lot of these, but there's one where Dennis likes to go out at night. He goes out at night and knocks on Mr. Wilson's door and bothers him, like when he should be in bed. Yeah. One of the ones that made me laugh is when Dennis is out at night in his pajamas and he sees another little boy also in his pajamas on the footpath, and the caption is, "Hey, how come you're not in bed?" Right. Yes. He's often out wandering the neighborhood after bedtime. He's like snuck out of bed or something. Yeah. So a lot of the humour will come from him asking what I think of as a kids say the damnedest things line. Yes. Where the idea will be the childlike naivety, or the kind of or a kind of combination of naivety and pithiness, like where he asks a naive question that actually gets to the heart of some kind of contradiction about adult life. Yeah. I can't think of an example. There's one where he says to his father, "Dad, why do I ask so many questions?" I just typed that one. I took a photo of that one. That one made me laugh. I don't think that one's an example of that, though. Okay. That one's just funny because that's pretty self-aware. It'd be ones like where there's one where no, I've lost it. It's gone. It's gone. Well, yeah, I read about 200 of these. Yeah, I read pretty much all of them as well. Pull up like specific examples. There's one where a pretty neighbour visits or something like that, and Dennis says to her, "Oh, I'm surprised to see you here because my dad said if you came by he'd get in trouble or something along those lines." Right. And then everybody looks embarrassed and there's one where like Mr. Wilson next door is talking to some pretty girl. And because I didn't know you could smile. Yes, or something like that. Yes. I'm just trying to find one. Like, there's one where like they're blowing soap bubbles, and they're using like mom's dishes and mom's soap, and the room is full of bubbles, and he's with his pal Joey, and he says it's the only thing they're good for, or it's the only thing soap is good for. Yeah, because he's a kid. Yeah, so you have pretty much two kinds of jokes. Yeah. You've got the ones where he punctures something silly about modern life with a babe in the woods kind of observation. Yeah. And then there's the ones where he's being a kid. Yeah. Like he likes to be naked, for example. Yes. So he's often taking any opportunity he can to be naked, or he doesn't like baths. Yeah. So there'll be jokes about him not wanting to get in the bath. Yeah. And things like that. Or, one time the phone rings and we see Dennis answering the phone, dripping with water and naked. And he says, "Boy, I'm glad you rang. I was in the bath." The joke is normally you don't want to answer the phone. Right. It's like, damn, the phone, I'm in the bath. I can't answer it. Yeah. He wanted to answer it because he wanted to get out of the bath. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of joke. Yes. Do you get it? Yes. And it's just hundreds of them. Yes. But there's one a day. That's amazing. They just fly past. They're just supposed to fly past. Yeah. You're supposed to look at this thing for a split second. Yeah. In between the sports pages and the
smile
news
a little bit and move on. Yeah. At best.
Yep. You're not supposed to read 200 in a row. No. That's it. We always say this whenever we do the time. Whenever we do a daily strip, we always say, "God, these are a chore. You were only supposed to read one a day or even one a week for the Sundays.
Yeah.
I can see that this made people chuckle because they even made me chuckle, some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
I took a photo of a few. I've gone over some of them already.
Yeah. Did you come across the race controversy episode?
Maybe
from 1970?
No, I didn't read that far.
No, well, we didn't read that. We only read it from... I think this volume covered a few...
61 to 63 or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, no, sorry. No, I didn't read any from the 70s.
In 1970, there's this strip... I'll link to it on Snopes. There's a Snopes article about it. Because Dennis shows up with this other kid. His dad is mowing the lawn. He's walking down the sidewalk with this other kid. This kid is a black kid. And Dennis says, I'm having some race trouble with Jackson. He runs faster than I do. Maybe the first time a black kid ever appeared to us. So that's fine. We laugh when we hear the joke described, but Ketcham was absolutely tone deaf about how he drew this
he's
kid.
drawn him like a gollywog
It's
or
an
something.
absolutely minstrel, Sambo type, big rubber lips, completely black. Like, black inked his hair, face, everything, except for the eyes and lips.
Oops.
It's really
I feel
awful.
bad for laughing now.
Apparently, the reason this is on Snopes is because was there apparently violence caused by Dennis the Menace? Yes, apparently the newspaper offices were attacked. There was maybe some rocks in the window or something in some of these newspapers. Now, Snopes doesn't say, Ketcham doesn't say, nobody says who was throwing the rocks. Was this black people that were offended by the depiction of the black kid, or was it white people, like when the complaints around Peanuts when Franklin was introduced? Is this white people that are upset that they've introduced a black kid that's hanging out with Dennis the Menace?
God only.
Don't know.
God only knows.
And this was in 1970. Then later he tried to kind of correct and do another one, I think in the 80s, where he brings Jackson home. He's drawn him a little bit different this time, but he says, me and Jackson are exactly the same age, only he's different. He's left-handed.
This is the kind of shit that it is over and over.
Yes.
It's these kinds of thudding clunkers.
The joke's okay. Again, he hasn't drawn... it's a bit tone deaf. And then he was always like, I don't know what people are complaining about. Hank Ketcham's really like this kind of guy about can't do comedy anymore because everybody's complaining about woke.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Like the director of Joker.
That's right.
Can't do comedy anymore.
That's right. He's one of... Well, that's about... Do we see anything else about Dennis?
Not really.
Comic strip? Okay.
He was the mascot for Dairy Queen in the US for a long time.
Oh, I forgot about that. I did know that and forgot about it.
But no longer. I think in about 20 years ago they took him off because kids didn't relate to him anymore. Which tracks, because I am 100% sure it's only old people reading Dennis the Menace now.
Yeah.
And it's probably some tech-savvy 80-year-old that's keeping his Wikipedia article up to date.
Yeah.
Well, we can just start talking about the movie.
Yeah, I guess we can start... Okay, so before we get really deep into this movie, we do want to mention that starting from this movie, the casting of George Wilson and Martha Wilson, the neighbors. Mm-hmm. In this case, it was
Walter
Matthau and Dame Joan Plowright. Now, after this movie, every time they do a live-action Dennis the Menace, this is like casting the Joker. All anyone cares about
is who's playing
George and Martha.
Yeah. Walter Matthau is amazing as George Wilson, really? I think. When I started reading the comics, I wrote down in my notes, holy shit, George Wilson looks like Walter Matthau.
Yeah. So, I don't know, we're probably never going to get to him. I just want to say, there was a TV movie in 1987, which is now called Dennis the Menace Dinosaur Hunter. I don't know who played George and Martha in that one. But there's a direct-to-video sequel in 98 called Dennis the Menace Strikes Again.
Yeah.
That one's got Don Rickles and Betty White.
Yeah.
Then in 2007, we've got A Dennis the Menace Christmas. Mm-hmm. And that one's got Robert Wagner, Person of Interest, and Prince Valiant.
Yes.
And Louise Fletcher.
Wow.
So this seems to be like the key casting for all of these after this.
That's it.
No
one cares who plays Dennis.
Yeah, no, nobody cares about
who's playing the Joker.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
That's brilliant.
This is written by John Hughes.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Amazing bit of trivia. Well, I don't know if it's trivia. This was during his Home Alone,
Yes.
Curly Sue, Baby's Day Out period, where
Yes.
he was writing little
100%.
kid movies.
He was cast for this. Well, cast. He was hired for this because of his work on Home Alone, basically.
Yep, and a lot of it is very Home Alone-ish, and we'll talk about that. Directed by Nick Castle.
Yes, you go in. You can tell us about Nick Castle because this is
Castle-
your wheelhouse.
Was the actor who played Michael Myers / The Shape in Halloween. He was a frequent collaborator with John Carpenter in the 70s. I think he was in Dark Star as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And then he kind of shifted into some directing later on. He directed like Major Payne, which is a funny movie around this era as well. It just strikes me as funny because a lot of these scenes in this suburb look like Haddonfield. And the doors are all unlocked. It's a plot point more than once in the movie. Everybody unlocks the doors, which seems to be very Haddonfield because Michael Myers is just walking into those houses, grabbing those kitchen knives and killing people with them. That was very weird to me.
So this is like, does Dennis grow up to become Michael Myers, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's only 5. If he had an older sister and killed her when he was 10, it would be just perfect. 1993, so we talked about Walter Matthau. By the way, this is the same year that Grumpy Old Men comes out. So he's on a kind of upswing, like late career,
Absolutely.
late life upswing.
Although it doesn't last. I think,
but it's work. He does 2 Grumpy Old Men movies, 93 and 95. He does this movie.
Yes.
So he's out there.
It's this movie and Grumpy Old Men that I know Walter Matthau from. I never watched The Odd Couple.
Oh, right, okay. Okay.
I didn't see Bad News Bears or anything like that.
Right.
Walter Matthau is the old guy from Dennis the Menace and Grumpy Old Men.
I would say, if anybody else out there hasn't seen any Walter Matthau movies, the one I recommend most is A New Leaf, directed by Elaine May. That's a great movie.
That's famous.
Yeah, it's a really great picture. Okay, so I guess we'll talk about the rest of the cast as we go through.
Yep, that sounds good.
We start with this kind of idyllic forest, and just deer in the woods and stuff like that, and then camera pans over into Haddonfield, Illinois, where we're expecting Michael Myers to walk around. A very pleasant suburb. Walter Matthau comes out of his house and he's immediately annoyed that his newspaper has been thrown into the bushes. So immediately knows he's a grumpy fellow.
Although he does seem happy. He's briefly happy. Because he breathes in the fresh air.
Yes.
And he's appreciating the sunshine.
Yes.
But yeah, then he
hears this tricycle.
Yep.
With these cans tied to the back. And he feels a sense of terror. And all the animals start fleeing into trees and stuff. It's a bit like St. Trinian's when the girls are coming back to the school.
It is.
All the animals are freaking out. And this is Dennis. I don't know how old this actor was.
Oh, I don't know either.
I wonder. Okay, so Mr. Wilson, Walter Matthau, flees into his house.
Yes. Does Dennis say, "Hey, Mr. Wilson" at this? It doesn't matter because it's kind of like his catchphrase.
It is his catchphrase.
It's something from it's not something from the cartoon, from the comic. It's from the I'm quite sure it's from the live action.
He says it when he gets into his bedroom.
Got it.
So he comes into the house because seemingly the front door is unlocked, or possibly Mrs. Wilson let him in, which is something that happens later in the movie as well.
Yep.
We don't know. It just seems weird that this kid just walked in his house. So Mr.
They don't
Wilson
lock their doors.
That's right. Mr. Wilson's strategy is to pretend to be asleep. And Dennis is like trying to question him, and then he
Wake
does
up,
like
Mr.
this
Wilson.
Wake up, Mr. Wilson. And then he does like a health check on him. He listens to his heart. And he says, "His heart sounds like our washing machine." Bit like a line from the comics, like a Hank Ketcham line a bit. And then he's like pulling on his loose skin. And then there's a part that I thought was funny was when he sticks a flashlight in his mouth, like probing around.
Yep.
This old guy's trying to pretend to be asleep and rolling over to avoid him.
Doing some pretty good... This scene goes on a bit too long, but there's some pretty good comic acting from Walter Matthau. He keeps opening his eyes when Dennis can't see him and looking horrified.
Yes. Yes.
But I don't know why he just keeps pretending to be asleep while the kid's probing him and leaving sticky handprints on his face.
So you have to talk to him, I guess.
I guess. But this kid's like really brutalizing him.
Yes, and I'd say
he shoves the flashlight up his nose.
Yeah, I think Walter Matthau is a real trooper in this scene because the kid's like sitting on him and stuff.
Yep.
He's pretty good. So anyway, finally he's like, "Okay, I got to give you an aspirin," and he uses a slingshot to shoot an aspirin into his mouth, which practically chokes the old man.
And then he starts yelling at him to get out of his house and don't come back. Yeah. Which he could have yelled at the start, really, before Dennis shot an aspirin down his throat.
Yes, but they have a history.
Yes. Dennis really likes Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
And Mr. Wilson is concerned about his... Well, first of all, Mr. Wilson has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
But also, he's concerned about his standing in the neighbourhood. He doesn't want to be that guy that hates kids and locks his door.
Right.
He doesn't want to lock his door, and he just wants Dennis's parents to keep him on a tighter rein. We get a sort of like a bit of a line, like, he comes out and he starts complaining to Dennis's dad, saying things like, you know, you've just got to keep a tighter rein on him. It's like, well, boys will be boys. Mr. Wilson's like, yeah, but you know, when I was a boy, it wasn't boys will be boys. Boys were well behaved, and I respected my elders. He goes, it says he's 5, and he goes, well, in 1925, when I was 5, I listened to my father. Walter Matthau really was 5 in 1925. He was born in 1920.
Right. Okay, so Dennis runs away. He goes to his parents. Now, first I want to mention the dad, Henry Mitchell, played by Robert Stanton.
Really well cast.
Maybe the most amazing casting we've ever seen in our 175 episodes of this podcast. This guy looked like he stepped straight out of the Hank Ketcham comic. I did not know what was going on. I was like, is this AI generated? What is going on here?
I think everyone's really well cast in this. I mean...
Yes, I agree, but this was... the physical resemblance was uncanny. And he really pulls off playing that character who's trying to figure out his kid and doesn't know quite what to do about it.
I don't think we've had someone this comics accurate since Waltrow in The Perfecta Man. Remember him?
Yeah. We've had a couple, that we like really looked at, but...
But yeah, it's well, I mean... I think everybody's really...
Yeah.
Everybody that was a character in the strip is really...
Yes.
It's good casting.
Yes.
People look the part.
Yes. Agree.
Even Dennis himself. It's hard for a regular child to look like a cherubic...
Yeah.
Dairy Queen mascot.
Yeah.
But even he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And quite young.
Yeah, and given the labor laws, he would have only been allowed to work like an hour a day or something, if that.
His name was... The actor's name, the kid, he's called Mason. Okay. Mason Gamble.
Okay.
This was his film debut.
Okay.
John Hughes apparently spent 40 days in 1992 evaluating more than 20,000 video submissions.
Oh, yeah. He did this for Uncle Buck with Macaulay Culkin, too.
Right. From 5 to 6-year-old boys.
Yeah.
In a nationwide casting call. 20,000.
Yeah.
10 of the finalists were invited to come to where they were shooting in Chicago to audition with Walter Matthau to see.
Okay.
And presumably and they hit on this kid.
Okay, let's talk about Mom, Alice, played by Lea Thompson.
This is her second appearance. After Howard the Duck.
Yes.
No love scenes with the duck in this movie.
No. And I did mention last time that she had that sitcom in the 90s called Caroline in the City, where she played a cartoonist for 97 episodes. She did one Tales from the Crypt. She was on Picard and directed some episodes.
Ugh.
Fascinating.
Directed 3 episodes, apparently, and also directed 3 or 4 episodes of Resident Alien, which is also based on
Resident Alien. I don't know much about that, but I hear it's... Robbie Duncan McNeil has directed a few episodes of that as well.
Right. That's right.
So we've got a bit of a fascinating confluence
that's right.
of stuff going on here.
That's right.
But anyway, Lea Thompson looks really great. She looks just like Alice.
Oh, yeah. But she's different from the Alice of the comics. This is a working woman.
She's much drippier, too.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of gooey looks. She's
very much like Catherine O'Hara, I think, in Home Alone. She's a bit like that character who's desperate, especially when Dennis goes missing later in the movie and is trying to find him.
That's right.
Stuff like that. She's basically in that role. She gets
stuck in an airport, like Kevin's mom does in Home Alone. It's like John Hughes just reusing some story beats here.
Yeah, and she's I think Catherine O'Hara's working mom in that as well. It must have been. They had like 9 kids. Well,
she's just started going to work. She's just got a job.
Yeah. And she's Yeah, and she's not as befuddled by Dennis as she is in the comic version. It's much more of a modern woman. They do say, well, you'd better behave yourself or we'll put you in the corner. And he gets put in the corner in the comics a lot.
Yeah,
so
about half of them are him in the corner.
Yeah. Okay, so they get a complaint. They get the phone call from the neighbor, Mr. Wilson, who complains. This is when we have the chat about how, he obeyed his parents when he was 5 years old or whatever.
He says he doesn't want to be an ogre. He doesn't want to be the guy that hates kids.
Yeah. Now we learn that Mr. Wilson he wants his garden. This is what he cares about more than anything, is his garden. He is hoping he can host this garden festival.
Yep.
This annual garden festival.
For the ladies' garden club.
It's called the Floraganza or something like that.
And so there's an annual get-together in something like the best garden in the neighborhood, and he really believes that this is his year, at least in part because he has a very special flower in his yard, which blooms only every 40 years for 2 seconds. I'm not sure how many insects it's attracting.
Yes, I really wondered about the life cycle of this thing, which blooms only once in 40 years, and then dies. I thought, when it opened and it opens and then it dies. Yeah. And I thought, did it need total silence to stay in?
No, it just apparently blooms for 2 seconds. Or does it just die for? Yeah, and I think I went back and
this is
this is completely ridiculous. It's they glance away from it for a second and then miss it. Yeah. What how does this plant survive? Yeah. The thing is, there really is a plant like this. Okay. Or enough like this for them to have probably based on it. There's a plant from Sumatra, the island of Sumatra, in Indonesia, called the corpse flower. You might have heard of it. It's the one that smells like rotting meat.
Oh, okay. I've heard that part.
Yes, it blooms. It's got a crazy life cycle. It has only one leaf. It grows an enormous tuber. Okay. The largest of any flowering plant, can go up to 90 kilos.
Okay.
It puts out one leaf, which grows and dies and grows and dies and grows and dies. And then after about 10 years, and sometimes as long as 40, it finally blooms. Okay. It grows this enormous flower, which smells like rotten meat, which attracts not, like the usual things like bees and stuff, but like flies. In order to pollinate. Wow. The flower only stays open for about a day. Oh. And when these flowers bloom at botanical gardens all around the world, it's always a big event. Right. People will queue up to see the corpse flower. Mm-hmm. One bloomed in Sydney Botanical Gardens last January, and about 15,000 people visited it. Wow. And there was a live stream. Right. Where you could watch the flower. Okay. Okay. The name of the so this is it's based on this flower because there are events when this flower blooms. It's called and its technical name is Amorphophallus titanum, which translated is gigantic misshapen dick. Because it does kind of look a bit like a phallus. Yeah. That's amazing.
Okay, so I guess that's a point in the movie's favor. So Mom is going to drop Dennis off at this girl Margaret's house, and another little boy Joey's going to be there because it's summer vacation, so she's going to work. She has to leave him somewhere.
Margaret, again, a big character from, not huge in the comics we read, but a big character, again, in the live-action TV series.
Yes, right.
And in fact, the actress that played Margaret in the 1960s live-action show had a cameo in the movie as one of the neighbours, presumably at the garden party.
Okay. Margaret is in the comics, but she's a very different character. She's a bit more like... Who's that little girl in Calvin and Hobbes? She's a bit more like the normal one where Dennis is going crazy. She's like the straight man. Here, is her own terror. Yeah. At least to the other two boys.
She's an unbelievably bossy. She's got her hair in ringlets.
Yeah. And she tricks Joey into thinking he's going to kiss her, and then she makes him close his eyes, and he kisses her doll's butt. Yeah. This is like a prank that she's into.
Yeah. So this characterization must come from the TV show. Yeah.
Right. So I didn't mind that.
If you look at pictures of the show, like she looks exactly like this, the way that they've made up this little girl, right, in the movie. I
didn't mind the change. Also, I didn't mind the change to the mom. Mm-hmm. there's a funny bit here where Dennis so doesn't want to go to Margaret's house that he like is lying on the ground outside the car and like Mom has to literally drag him in. They go out to the three kids go out to the woods. They find this old treehouse, abandoned treehouse that they're like, well, we can fix it up.
And of course, she talks about how they're going to have a baby room and she's going to put carpet in. Just sort of aggressive domestic femininity, and the boys, of course, are horrified by it. They're horrified by anything to do with girls. Yeah, because they're 5.
Yes. Okay, they have a crazy game of hide and seek that night, where it seems like hundreds of kids are hiding and one kid is counting. I don't know what's quite going on here. But that night, riding the rails,
just like Hellboy.
Yeah, suddenly this criminal, the dirtiest, most grimy guy you've ever seen in your life.
He's just so disgustingly dirty.
Really gross, with terrible teeth. This guy, hard to believe that people don't notice the smell when he's around.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you smell him coming.
Yeah.
It's astonishing how dirty he is.
This is our criminal, played by Christopher Lloyd. I don't think he's ever named in the movie.
Nope.
But the credits say Switchblade Sam.
Amazing. Yeah, it's Christopher Lloyd.
It's Christopher Lloyd's
We've had him.
Appearance?
Yep, he was in Addams Family.
Yeah,
he'll be back.
What year was Addams Family? Is that 91?
It was early 90s, wasn't it? I think maybe 90. I want to say 1990.
Okay.
But this character's great. He looks like his character from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest escaped from the asylum.
Yeah.
Or possibly that his character from Taxi really fell off the rails.
Yeah.
Reverend Jim.
Yeah.
There's something for the grown-ups there. But he just looks so scary.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's got a lot of charm, but not a lot of it's on display here. He's frightening.
Yeah. And he jumps off this train and he sees this town. He's like, I bet they don't even lock their doors. Now, I'm guessing, so it seems like this guy just goes from town to town. He rides the rails, goes from town to town, and just robs places.
Yeah, this is the thing. Boxcars bringing trouble.
Why isn't this guy, like, living slightly more comfortably? Considering the amount of gold and silver and stuff he steals from all these places.
Well, this is the...
Somehow he's got some sort of fence that will actually do business
Well, this is what I was thinking too. Who does he fence these things to? He's literally just blown into town.
Yeah.
Well, he steals stuff. He's hit the mother lode here. This is a gold mine for him. Because as you pointed out, the line is, I bet they don't even lock their doors. Yeah. He's got lucky. He's hit pay dirt.
Yeah.
There's only one thing that can stop him.
Yeah.
And it's Dennis, of course.
Right. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention earlier, which is when Dennis and Henry are having... when George, the neighbor, and Henry are having that conversation, it opens with George bringing over a red wheelbarrow... Not a wheelbarrow, like a kid's trailer full of Dennis's toys. That's a gag from the comic strip.
Yeah.
So there might be more in here, which I simply didn't know.
There's a couple...
Yeah.
There's another one where, well, it's not a gag from the comic strip, but Mr. Wilson goes to pick up his pills from the chemist, and there's lots of them. And there was a gag like that in the strip,
right,
where he goes to the pharmacist to pick up his prescription, and the pharmacist says, "Oh, you're picking up a few less this week, so Dennis must be away."
Yeah, right.
Well, he doesn't say Dennis; he says the family name, whatever the family name is.
The Mitchells.
The Mitchells must be away,
and
lets you figure it out. It's because Dennis is away.
Yeah.
So it's funny to see that he still has all those pills.
Yeah. Now we go to Lea Thompson, Alice, in this board meeting where she's talking about her plans for this mall.
Yeah. She's got this sort of gooey line where she talks about how they should put the toy shop on the 3rd floor. So because she starts talking about how Dennis always drags her to the toy shop, and then if they have to go up to the 3rd floor to go to the toy shop, then... they'll have to pass through by all the other shops, or they'll want to... Or it seems like maybe they're buying apartments, because she does mention buying apartments on the 1st and 2nd floor. Yeah. It's a bit weird what's going on. Anyway, no one in the boardroom is impressed.
Well, there's one lady especially that's like a power suit.
Yeah.
That's like... It's career woman.
This is pretty disappointing. So, here's a segment we haven't done for a while. Cishet male solve sexism. This film, John Hughes is usually more subtle than this. Like, this is like a frosty uptight, cold-hearted career woman, and she's got no time whatsoever for Lea Thompson's drippy monologue about how much she loves Dennis and how he always drags her to the shop. So, of course, this woman's going to get her comeuppance for being an unfeminine, career-focused person.
Yeah, I guess Mr. Wilson is kind of anti-kids, too. Although he says, I don't want to appear anti-kids.
Later on, they're pro... I don't know, he's not really anti-kids, but his wife is very pro-kids. And in fact, we get a whole bit about how she's unfulfilled because she never had children.
That's right.
Which is odd, again, that's in there, too.
I like that was in there, much like I liked how they've changed the mom. I like that these people actually have kind of lives that John Hughes has imbued them with, even if it's only a few lines. This is true, but I feel like the film plays it so that Lea Thompson is not super happy in her career. She would rather be at home, being like a proper mother. Right,
it's a problem. It causes trouble. It's causing tension and difficulty in the film.
Yeah, but she never leaves the job.
No, she doesn't.
It's not like at the end of the movie, her character arc is I have to leave this job and take care of this.
Even for it would be too on the nose. But it's just little things like she tries to cancel her trip, but her husband doesn't try to cancel his.
Yeah.
Although he does help with trying to find babysitters.
Yeah.
And at one point, Lea Thompson does say his one was scheduled first.
Yes.
So he can't cancel it.
Right.
But it's just there's no real question of. I mean, his place is at work. And it's sort of implied that hers is not, because it's causing these difficulties.
Yeah. By the way, the guy sitting at the head of the table in the boardroom is the economy professor from Ferris Bueller.
Who was also in The Mask.
Oh, right, of course. Oh my god.
Ben Stein is the name of the actor.
Yeah.
Bueller.
Yes. Apparently he's not...
he's he's an odd fundy, appears in weird fundamentalist self-funded movies.
I forgot about The Mask, of course. As soon as you say it, I can picture him.
Who's the professor at the with all the masks.
So meanwhile, back at the treehouse, the thief shows up and steals Margaret's antique doll.
Why? He just does.
He just steals everything. He's compulsive.
He just
He's a
steals
kleptomaniac.
everything not nailed down, He steals an apple.
He steals an apple from a baby. a toddler that's like 3 years old, 2 years old. Steals an apple just because he can. Because he's klepto. Dennis decides they need to paint the treehouse and tries to steal some paint from the garage and spills the paint and then tries to vacuum it up.
Yep.
And then
accidentally reverses the
vacuum. It spits out the paint in a CGI shot, which splats the paint onto Mr. Wilson's barbecue.
He's barbecuing chicken, and then they eat it, and we get a very lengthy sequence of Walter Matthau chewing his chicken and figuring out that it tastes like paint and wood chips.
This whole set piece, I mean, it's weird because I really didn't know what this movie was going to be going into it. Because you've got 250,000 daily strips that are just like one thing happening. And I'm like, what's this movie going to be? And suddenly there's like 7 plots. There's like the plot about the garden party. There's a plot about mom building the mall. There's a plot about the treehouse. There's this criminal that's rolled into town. They keep adding on plots. And yet, sometimes we get these big mischief set pieces, these Rube Goldberg scenes, where one thing piles on to another.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Well, these are just framing devices, really, for Dennis's... for these set pieces.
Exactly.
Dennis's mischief.
Could be, plot-wise, could be excised from the movie.
Well,
right?
No, but they are the movie. It's the plot that could be excised.
I'm saying there's... right, one or the other. There's a bunch of plot... There's a bunch of plot segments, and then there's a bunch of...
It's like Home Alone, as you pointed out. So Christopher Lloyd's character is a bit like the Wet Bandits from Home Alone.
Yes.
He's there...
Oh, yeah.
100%. So that he can get Rube Goldberged by Dennis. But Dennis, instead of... Unlike Kevin McAllister, where Kevin McAllister is cunning and sets up his traps... Dennis is kind of like a force of nature. He's cursed. It's kind of like Final Destination style.
Yeah.
Bad stuff just happens all around him.
Yeah.
He's not malicious, although he does do pranks, I noticed.
Right. No, well, sometimes he has a fixation with buttons. If he sees a button, he has to press it.
Yeah, he always presses buttons. But, he'll do things like he'll just squirt out a bottle of whatever, and then realise that, I've emptied this bottle, I should be a good boy and refill it, and he'll refill it with something.
Yes, but he's playing. He's like playing. He's not
That's not an example of the pranking.
Right.
No. There's, it's completely, I've lost it, but there is an example of him performing a prank in a film somewhere.
On it.
But yeah, this plot, all of these things you've described, they're only there so that he can get set up for the next Final Destination style set piece.
Yes. This babysitter comes over for the night.
Do you notice who the babysitter was?
Well, yes and no. It's Natasha Lyonne.
Yes.
Who is an actress who I see mentioned probably every 2 weeks. There's some Variety article, Natasha Lyonne's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know who she is. And I see her name all the time. Every time I see her name, I look at her picture. I'm like, I don't recognize this person, but I've probably seen a bunch of stuff with her in it.
Yeah, you have. You saw DC League of Super Pets.
Yes.
Where she played Merton the Turtle.
Okay. So we have Mark Maron and Natasha Lyonne. Okay.
Yep. She was the child actor.
Yep.
So this is an example of her work that she did in the 90s. She was in, I think, the American Pie movies.
Okay.
And then she sort of had a kind of... She kind of flamed out, drugs and alcohol and things like that. And at the moment, her career is recovering. It's on a recovering trajectory. She appeared in Orange is the New Black, I think.
Got it.
She had an important role in that. And now she's in all sorts of things, like DC League of Super Pets, and she'll be in the Smurfs movie, the 2025 Smurfs movie.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay, her boyfriend comes over.
Did you notice who the boyfriend was?
No, who is he?
It's Buzz from Home Alone.
Whoa!
Not only is it Buzz from Home Alone, Kumar, he was in Surrogates.
No way.
You remember he was the tech guy behind the computer desk in Surrogates.
Oh my god. Okay, I never would have put that. You know what? I've only ever seen Home Alone the whole way through once or twice. When it's on TV, I'll watch 5 minutes of it, but I never would have put together that it was him. There's a lot of John Hughes repeats here.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Including the hosts of the Garden Festival.
Yes, one was the grandma from 16 Candles.
Yep. I know them from Home Alone. They're the couple that Catherine O'Hara tries to buy the plane ticket off.
Okay, got it.
He's the one that goes, she's got a whole box full of earrings, dangly ones.
Right.
And then they eventually do sell her the ticket.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about the bushy mustache eyebrows guy? That guy, the other garden party host. Was he?
That's him. Yeah, they play. They're a couple.
Okay, got it.
And they were a couple in
the
Home Alone as well.
Got it. Okay.
In fact, that actor's name is Bill Erwin. He was a self-taught cartoonist. And if you go to his Wikipedia page, you can see some of his art.
Interesting. Okay, this guy. So Buzz is really funny in this movie. He's so dumb.
Yeah.
I laughed at quite a few of his lines. He's borderline illiterate. He's trying to read this kid's book about a train. And
when Dennis is
struggling with the words.
Dennis likes baths in this and he has to stay. Odd inversion.
He has to stay in the bath until his fingers are wrinkly.
That's right.
This is a line he says.
Yes, more than once.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because he says it this time, but later on, when Martha Wilson, he's in the bath and Martha Wilson is outside, she says, "Are your fingers wrinkled yet?" So she knows.
Yeah. Well, she's very she's very soft on him.
And she's very sympathetic. She understands.
She's an unfulfilled woman because she never had kids in this heteronormative setting.
Okay, so Dennis sneaks out of bed after his bath. He's supposed to be in bed.
Yeah.
Natasha and Buzz are making
absolutely sucking face on the couch
on the sofa, and Dennis decides he's going to prank it. This is the prank.
Yes, that's it.
So he leaves. He sneaks out of the house and he runs around to ring the doorbell while they're making out.
Yes, he does do pranks.
Yes, and then he hides in the bushes. They come out. There's nobody there. So the third time he does it twice. The fifth time we're gonna prank him back. They tape a thumbtack to the door and
Buzz takes a thumbtack. Natasha Lyonne goes upstairs. She's going to dump water down, and then Buzz is going to throw flour out the door. Okay, and Dennis is getting all set to fall for it. But then something happens, and what happens is Mr. Wilson shows up. But now we need to rewind a bit. Mr. Wilson is pissed off about his chicken getting paint on it.
He's sure that it was Dennis.
He's right.
Yeah.
But Martha's like, "No, just come on, don't be silly." And he goes, "Nope, I'm going to go get the proof." So he goes to the garage and he starts poking around.
By the way, just want to interrupt for a second. This sequence is very difficult to film because he starts cooking that chicken during daylight, and then it gets darker as they're eating, and then it's nighttime during the sequence. Very difficult to sequence this kind of stuff and get the light right. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he's in the... he's looking around, investigating the vacuum cleaner. He sees the paint on the floor. And then Dennis's malign probability influence reaches out, and he accidentally sort of like turns on... He knocks some stuff over. He accidentally turns on the vacuum cleaner, and it sucks up a golf ball. Mm-hmm. And the golf ball's just kind of sitting inside the nozzle like a fragment of a bullet in a Magnum revolver on the set of a film called The Crow. Mm-hmm. It's waiting for him to accidentally put it to blow instead of suck. And he's bent over examining something, right? Mm. This film, I guess, came out in the window of time when there was nothing more hilarious than stuff happening to actors' balls.
By the way, also, he accidentally steps in the kid's wading pool and loses his shoe and sock, which is very much like what happens to Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller when he goes to the Bueller house and one foot's messed up by the dog or
it's a sort of thing that doesn't really go anywhere. He loses his sock, his shoe.
He's walking around with one like barefoot.
Does he? Maybe he hurts his foot at some point, and that's what helps sets off the garage thing. I don't really remember. But anyway, the vacuum cleaner blows the golf ball into Walter Matthau's balls. Mm-hmm. It's not the last time his balls will be brutalized in this film. John Hughes apparently thinks nothing's funnier than doing stuff to Walter Matthau's balls. And then he's hunched. He's in terrible pain. He's hunched over. He goes to the front door to complain to Dennis's father. He doesn't know that they're not home. He gets his finger spiked on the thumbtack.
Like the wet bandit getting his foot on that nail on the stairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much like that. And then this is just like Home Alone. Then Natasha Lyonne dumps water on him. Then Buzz throws the flour on him, and he's like, Walter Matthau's rubbery face blows out, and then Buzz says something really funny. I don't remember exactly what it is. He just says "good day" or something. He says "sorry, good evening," and then shuts the door on him.
Yeah. The next day, Dennis has written a apology card. I'm sorry I shot paint on your chicken card, he says. And Martha lets him go upstairs.
But she warns him that the photographer is coming today to take his photo for the local paper because he's going to host the big garden event.
Yeah.
And that he's not to disturb Mr. Wilson. So Dennis goes up. He has a plan. He's going to leave the letter underneath the mustache trimmer because that's where he does it when his father's angry at him. But when he's there, he's irresistibly drawn to a container which contains Mr. Wilson's dentures, and he starts playing with them, pretending they're his teeth, and then he breaks them. In fact, specifically, he breaks off the two front teeth. He panics. He goes and gets... Is it a sweet or...
It's chiclets.
What are chiclets?
They're gum. They're little square pieces of gum.
Okay.
Square white gum.
So he replaces the two front teeth in the dentures with chiclets, these square pieces of gum. And it's funny, Mr. Wilson comes down for his photo, he smiles for the camera, and he looks like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. The photographer.
Yes.
It's veteran actor Arnold Stang.
Yes. Not the other person that played a turtle.
No, that's right.
In this film.
That's right.
So, Natasha Lyonne played one. Arnold Stang played Churchy LaFemme, the turtle, in I Go Pogo.
Also, not his final appearance on the podcast.
Whoa! I didn't notice that.
He's going to reach all-star status. He was also, I just want to mention, since we talked about it a few weeks ago, he was the co-star of Hercules in New York. I think most people, if they know Arnold Stang, probably know him from Hercules in New York.
Of course! He looked so familiar when he came out to take the photo. And I'm like, why does he look so familiar? I've only ever seen him in I Go Pogo. No, I've been watching clips from Hercules in New York because we were talking about it the other week.
Yeah. So some of these gags, like Walter Matthau comes out and smiles for the camera, and he's got these two ridiculous chiclets sticking out from his mouth.
And the photo
he didn't notice them putting in the teeth or in his mouth. It's just like they've really gone very far for this gag.
And it seemed like he already knew because he keeps his mouth closed.
Yes.
Right up until it's time for the photo.
He's supposed to be super sleepy or something. Not really.
Well, he did sleep in. And he was in a bit of he did sleep in, actually.
Yeah.
And he was in a big rush.
And he was terrorized the night before.
We see him coming out tying his tie because he's forgotten or he slept in and Martha hasn't woken him up. But why would he be keeping it? We know why he's keeping his mouth shut. It's so that we get the visual impact of him revealing his teeth when it's time for the photo. But it seems like he knew at first. Yeah. It doesn't really work.
No. Meanwhile, the what is Switchblade Sam is prowling around town, stealing ladies' purses and stuff. A cop rolls up on him.
It's Paul Winfield.
Paul Winfield.
Star Trek?
Yeah. Yeah, Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, he was in Wrath of Khan. He gets a SETI eel in his ear. And he was the alien from the great episode Darmok.
Fascinating.
Oh, that was Paul Winfield.
Yeah.
I always think of him from Khan because I saw it as a child and he's burned into my memory. That sequence is burned into my memory.
Mine too.
Yeah.
No, he's under all that makeup as the alien in Darmok, the captain.
Okay, got it. Okay, double fascinating for him. By the way, he's also in Mars Attacks, which you can hear if you subscribe to our Patreon.
Damn right.
He's in that episode. And he's like, you should get on out of town. Like, I can tell you're a troublemaker. Nobody in this neighborhood looks like this guy.
Nobody anywhere looks like this guy.
This is a very clean-cut, green grass neighborhood.
Like perfect
Picket
1950s
fences.
suburb.
This guy's walking around, just skin like black with soot and oil and greasy clothes and terrible teeth. It's just bizarre.
Yeah. They're going to run him out of town. Just like Rambo.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He just leaves him be.
That's right. At Lea Thompson's work, she's like, look, I need this time off, but her co-worker...
This is bitchy,
the
child-free woman.
Condescending child-free woman is like, if you take that time off, I'm not going to cover you.
Yeah. Well, she says, she says, I'm the only person that can cover you, and I've got a life. And it... Oh, okay, I get it, John Hughes. Yeah. She doesn't really have a life because she doesn't have children. Thanks, man.
And Alice is like, well, my husband has a trip at the same time.
Yeah, and his was booked first, so we have a nod to...
So now we have a montage where they have to call babysitters.
Nobody.
They're all hanging up.
Some of them are... one of them's traumatized.
Was there something like this in the Penny Marshall episode of Simpsons where she tries to get a babysitter for...
No, but put that down. Yeah, it's the same thing. We even get a similar bit where they call someone and she's like not talking or something because she was Dennis's babysitter. Anyway, they cross out all the names and there's only one left. It's Wilson.
Yeah.
So Martha, of course, is very happy to look after.
Yes.
And it seems like she agrees without checking with George because Dennis pulls up, "Hey, Mr. Wilson, I'm staying at your place."
Yes.
He's not happy.
No.
But, you know.
He's going through his gold coin collection.
Yep.
Mr. Wilson is that night. It's raining outside, so Dennis can't go outside and play.
Yep.
He's hanging out with Mr. Wilson, asking him about his safe, which is behind a row of fake books or something.
There's a great bit where Dennis asks him about the combination to the safe. He's like, "I'm not telling you the combination to my safe, you little punk." He doesn't say that, but yeah. And Dennis says, how do you remember it? And he goes, you might forget it. And Mr. Wilson says, "I'm not going to forget it. It's a number. It's very familiar to me." It's like, "But you could forget it. You should write it down." "I'm not writing it down. I'm keeping it in my head. It's a number I use every day, and I'm not going to forget it." And then Dennis says, "I bet it's your address." And there's a great kind of like spit take.
Yeah.
It's accompanied by a crack of thunder.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Where Walter Matthau looks absolutely stricken, and of course it is his address. And Dennis isn't the only one that figures it out, because of course Switchblade Sam also figures it out instantly.
Yeah.
And he steals his precious gold coins. I don't know, like it's like a coin collection. I think maybe Dennis thinks it's gold, but it might just be he might just be a numismatist, and he just likes to collect coins.
Yeah. There's also a cute moment.
Mr. Wilson collected stamps in the comic.
Oh, right, okay.
But stamps, it's if Switchblade Sam sold stamps, it wouldn't be quite as visually arresting. No. So we've changed it to coins.
Yeah. This scene ends with a cute moment where Mr. Wilson says, "How am I going to get any work done around here with you?" And Dennis is like, "That's a tough one." And he like hugs him, like he puts his head on his shoulder.
He really loves Mr. Wilson. Yeah. It's bizarre. Then they're out in the garage. I think Mr. Wilson.
Well, this is the bath scene.
Yeah, bath scene.
And he also mixes up, just because he's playing, he mixes up all of the stuff in the bathroom. Like, he pours out the mouthwash and puts in the toilet cleaner.
Well,
he swaps something else.
There's like a nasal spray.
Yeah.
He's fascinated by it, so he picks it up, he squirts it. That's the best thing ever. So he squirts it all over the mirror. Then, he realizes that bottle's empty now. Oh shit. This is something from the strips. Like, Dennis will be trying to do a good deed, but because he's so naive, he makes things worse. He fills up the nasal spray with mouthwash. But now the mouthwash is empty. So he finds some Pino Clean, or like floor polish, or like floor something. Floor washing, floor stuff?
Yeah.
It's like Pino Clean. Under the sink. So he fills up the mouthwash with that.
Yeah.
And then puts that back on. So he replaces the mouthwash. It now has Pino Clean in it. And the nasal spray now has mouthwash in it.
Right.
Later on, Mr. Wilson comes to do his ablutions. The first thing that happens is Dennis has made a big mess because he likes to splash in the bath. So Walter Matthau does the splits. This is
How did they do that special effect? There's an overhead shot of him on the floor.
Maybe Walter Matthau is just that limber. He's like 72 and doesn't look it. Probably because he's looked 72 his whole life. But his hair's quite dark. Do you think it was dyed?
Yeah, I don't know.
But his mustache is dark.
Yeah, he could have dyed the mustache.
But he definitely looks like his body looks 70. Like he's old and like decrepit. Anyway, so he does the splits. So this hilarious thing happening to Walter Matthau's balls number 2. Then, of course, he uses the mouthwash and it burns his mouth and he has to shove his head in the sink. You know, one of those shots where you put the camera inside and have the head coming down. Then
there's a lot of first-person shots in this. Like, when he was about to shoot the aspirin into his mouth, we get a shot from behind the teeth. Like, they built some fake teeth.
That was cool, actually.
Give a first-person shot from inside his mouth.
Then, because he's got water up his nose after shoving his face in the sink, he filled it with water awfully quickly as well. Yeah. At first I thought he was shoving his head in the toilet. Because of how swift that transition was. But no, it was the sink. He somehow filled it with water very quickly. Then, because he's got a water up his nose, he uses his nasal stuff, and of course that's... Yeah! He screams, you know.
Yeah. By the way, we really haven't talked about how good Joan Plowright is in this.
Of course she's good.
She's really very...
She's excellent. She doesn't have a lot to do, but she does a lot.
She's so likable in it.
Yeah.
It's very
believable that she's grandmotherly and... but without any children, without any grandkids or anything.
Yeah. So that night, I think it's after all the...
She reads Dennis a story. She tells him that she reads him the poem, the Wink and Blink and a Nod poem. And then Dennis goes to sleep. Then we have the aforementioned scene where she expresses regret at not having children.
It's when she's in bed with George.
Yep, and he has no sympathy.
He doesn't care, so she walks out, basically.
Meanwhile, Dennis has woken up and had a midnight perambulation, as he likes to do in the strips.
He's brought his dog.
That's it. He hears the dog barking.
Looks just like the dog from the comics, by the way.
It does.
Well cast.
He hears the dog. Everyone's well cast in this movie. It's amazing casting.
Yeah.
He hears the dog, so he gets out of bed, and he's worried about the dog being lonely, I suppose, so he brings it in the house. Then Walter Matthau comes down, sad that he wants to make up with Martha. So he has a short soliloquy where he talks about how he has regrets too, and he loves her very much. And he starts speaking French to her, he goes in for a kiss, but it's not Martha, it's the dog on the couch. Yeah. He was looking at her, at the dog.
Again, a lot of hoops have to be jumped through to get to this gag. He has to close his eyes.
Yeah.
He has to not smell that it's a dog.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff has to happen for him to be trying to kiss a dog.
It's Dennis. Dennis has some kind of effect on local probability.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's his menacing aura.
So the next day they're up in the attic. Mr. Wilson's working on something.
It's the garage, actually.
Oh, okay, so it's a garage.
But so Mr. Wilson's looking for lantern. Well, it turns out, I think this is the... No, it's not yet. So they're looking for the lanterns to hang in the garden, because the garden party's tonight. Dennis is, again, he's hanging out with Mr. Wilson. He's causing trouble. He sees a rope, like where a rope has been tied up on the wall, and he can't resist. He starts unwinding the rope.
Yeah. And it's connected to this boat that's hanging from the roof
like
of the
canoe.
garage. A canoe, yeah.
And it comes down...
It's a very Rube Goldberg...
Yes, again, it's...
thing where one thing smashes...
Dennis is like Death from Final Destination.
Yeah.
Except instead of taking people's lives, he brutalizes Walter Matthau's balls. Because here it happens for the third time.
Does it just, like, almost miss, though? Or does it actually
Close enough. It's still hilarious ball stuff.
Yeah, and then all the paper lanterns fall on it.
Yes, because that's where they were. That's funny. That is kind of funny, actually. Then, okay, now we have the recycled Home Alone plot point. Lea Thompson is trapped at the airport. There's a big storm. She can't get back. So someone needs to look after Dennis. And Martha, of course, agrees, but George is horrified.
But it's the night of the garden party.
It's the night of the garden party. So. And I tell you what, George Wilson is right, man. You do not want Dennis and his reality-manipulating powers anywhere near an important event, because it's going to cause big problems, which, of course, it does. So, but they agree. You know, Mr. Wilson gives Dennis a big talking to, you know, stay out of the way. Don't embarrass me. This is an important night. Dennis puts on a little tux, but he's still wearing his shorts. He's like wearing shorts underneath. All the local ladies pinch his cheeks.
Yeah.
He says, "Uh-oh, cheek pinches."
Yes.
I'll come pinch his cheeks.
Yeah. But Dennis he behaves himself and sits out next to the garage.
But he can't, but there's a button.
Which is where they have set up the dessert table.
Yep.
Instead of putting it in the backyard, they've set up this dessert table in the driveway leading up to the garage. Very weird choice. Much like the Chiclet's teeth and various other things in this movie. There just have to be a certain way for this gag to work.
That's right.
This has to be set up. He has to see the button. He presses the button for the garage door. The garage door opens and knocks over
the table.
This whole
It's
table.
like a long trestle table. All the lovely desserts get knocked on the floor and...
Yeah. And
so then Dennis is sent inside because of that.
Yeah. And Switchblade Sam, who's been going house to house, finally reaches, coincidentally, the Wilson's house this very night and is going through there. Dennis sees him stealing...
Because he's been sent inside because of his spoiling the desserts. Meanwhile, everyone else is out in the yard. They're all sitting, like at a wedding, they're all sitting in garden chairs watching the penis flower bloom for the single time after 40 years.
Yep.
And so Switchblade Sam steals... He instantly figures out all of Mr. Wilson's attempts to blindside thieves. There's a false wardrobe, bookshelf that he immediately finds, and of course he quickly figures out the combination, just like Dennis did, and he steals the coins. Dennis spots him. Switchblade Sam runs for it.
Yeah.
Then Dennis runs out into the yard. Meanwhile, we cut back and forth to the audience, like in rapture, as the plant is slowly opening. And then Dennis yells, "Hey, Mr. Wilson! You've been robbed!" And then everybody gets up and wants to see the robbery, I guess. And Dennis goes, "Right this way, right this way." And Walter Matthau turns around and watches Dennis for a split second. And by the time he turns back, the plant has bloomed and died.
Yeah.
So it bloomed for 50 milliseconds, feels like. Incidentally, this is the only thing, pretty much the only thing I can remember about this movie, because I had it on, I taped it off the telly in 95 or whatever. And this is the only thing I can remember about it. The devastation of growing a plant for 40 years and then missing its half a second of blooming.
So did Dennis not see the robber? Because when he meets the robber in 5 minutes from now...
No, he didn't. He just sees the open safe.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Because, Switchblade Sam hears him and runs out the front door.
Yeah, okay.
And now Walter Matthau, we have the lowest ebb, because Walter Matthau yells at... He's really angry now. He yells at Dennis.
Yeah.
"I don't want to see you." Well, he doesn't yell. He's very cruel.
Yeah.
"I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. You ruined something that I can never get back.
Yeah.
Get out of my life."
Yeah, and then Dennis runs off to the woods, where coincidentally he runs into the robber.
Yep.
Switchblade Sam.
So this is like kind of like the film's third act almost.
Yeah. It's a very long
sequence. Yeah.
20 minutes of him home aloning this guy for 20 minutes, basically.
Exactly.
So at first he doesn't know he's a robber.
No, he doesn't know that till the very end, really.
And he's trying to help him with like his slingshot and stuff, and just bludgeoning him by accident.
Yeah, he just keeps accidentally injuring Christopher Lloyd.
Setting his pants on fire.
We get some great Christopher Lloyd yelling.
Yeah.
You know.
And he he's starting to annoy Christopher Lloyd with all his talking, because he won't stop talking and asking these weird Dennis the Menace
I want you to shut your mouth. If I shut my mouth, how can I breathe? I've got a stuffy nose.
Yeah.
Very the Menace kind of dialogue.
Yeah. He tries to tie Dennis up, and Dennis is like, this isn't going to work. I can
just kick my way out of any...
And he Dennis demonstrates how to properly tie a knot, ends up tying this guy up.
Including with some handcuffs, which he's presumably lifted off some policemen.
Then, he drops the keys and the baked beans that are on the fire, and he feeds the beans to get to the key, but then the key's not there, so we're assuming that Christopher Lloyd has swallowed the key, etc., etc.
It just keeps going on and on.
Back in town, Mom's finally come home, and Dennis is missing, so everybody in town is looking for Dennis.
And Mr. Wilson feels bad.
Yes.
Because he knows he's caused Dennis to run away.
Yeah. And Dennis finally goes through this guy's stuff and finds the gold coins. And, these are, Mr. Wilson's coins. Why do you have them? And then figures out that
I'm a thief.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he's going to stab him with his switchblade, but a train comes past and...
He's tied him up and tied the rope to the top of the train tracks, and then when a train goes past, it pulls the rope.
It should have killed him, but, this is movie logic. So instead he's just sort of trapped on the roof of a rail bridge.
Yes.
On the top of a rail bridge, and then he eventually... There's a recurring gag where he falls in the river.
Yes.
It happens about 4 times.
Yeah.
He always falls in the river.
Yeah.
And it's the same shot of him lying spread-eagled on kind of it looks like some wood just under the surface.
Yeah. So he's basically captured the thief this way accidentally, and the next day he comes back into town. We hear the cans of the tricycle, which is a good, bookend for how the movie started.
He screams, "Hey, Mr. Wilson," again.
Because now Mr. Wilson is glad to hear the cans.
Yes, he is.
So there's been a transformation.
And they hug.
Yes, and Mr. Wilson has had a change of heart. The cops, Paul Winfield, shows up again to arrest this guy. He's taken away, and...
There's going to be daycare at work now?
Yeah, but Martha and Mr. Wilson are like, we'll take care of him. You need to take him to work. What's he going to do all day?
It's really nice. But then, of course, Dennis flicks a burning marshmallow directly into Mr. Wilson's forehead.
By accident.
And then they have... It seems like they have a change of heart, because the very next scene is him at the daycare.
Yeah, well, it's a mid-credit scene, much like Ferris Bueller.
Yes.
We see...
And this is where frigid cold fish lady gets her comeuppance. Dennis can't resist pressing the button, and she gets her face stuck on a photocopier.
Yeah, because the tie on the front of her blouse gets caught in the feed?
The in tray for the paper, and she gets stuck. And lots of printouts of her grimacing face.
Yeah.
Haha, take that, lady.
Yeah, and that's the end of the movie.
Yep, it sure is.
Do we have any trivia about it?
Sure, yeah. Okay, as I mentioned, this one exists because of Home Alone.
Okay.
Basically, after interest in a feature film adaptation for Dennis the Menace sort of starts to build after Home Alone is successful. Apparently, Hank Ketcham never really liked any of the previous adaptations of Dennis the Menace, including the CBS TV show, in that case, because Dennis was too old in it.
Yeah.
So he wants a younger Dennis. So, in early 1992, a few studios expressed interest. 20th Century Fox, Walt Disney Pictures, the producers nearly accepted a deal with Steven Spielberg and Kathleen Kennedy to make the film.
Okay.
Through Amblin Entertainment at Universal.
Okay.
But in the end, they went with Warner Brothers. Partly because of a personal connection between one of the producers and an executive at Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted Tim Burton.
Wow, that would have been a weird movie.
That would have been a very weird movie. But the producers knocked it back. However, they did agree to bring on John Hughes because he had an existing contract with the studio, with Warner Brothers, and because, of course, they wanted to basically remake Home Alone, as you've observed. Filming was in August 1992. It was shot in Chicago, in the suburbs.
Yeah.
In suburbs called Evanston, Wilmot, Hinsdale, and Elgin.
Okay.
And in the forest was Cook County Forest Preserve. The backyards and the interiors of the houses were on sound stages. Large sound stages that were built for Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Okay.
Interestingly, it's not the only stage. That whole sequence with Christopher Lloyd and Dennis was shot on a set.
Okay.
So that
right.
train bridge and the river and everything, it's a set.
Yeah.
10,000 square feet set, took 2 months to build. According to the American Film Institute website, they imported 150 tons of real swamp grass.
Wow.
Which they then fireproofed and painted green. Don't know why. And the river water was coloured brown with non-toxic paint. So that's good news for Christopher Lloyd, because he spent a lot of time in that water. Right. Okay, you mentioned the sequels.
Yeah.
So originally there was going to be theatrical sequels for this. Even before the film opened, in September 1992 it was reported that Walter Matthau had already been signed up for a sequel. So as you mentioned, his star is in a kind of final ascendancy at this point. And then the following year, Mason Gamble was going to, this is the kid that played him, was going to appear again as Dennis, but neither project, but no sequels, no theatrical sequels with these actors eventuated. It seems to be because after Grumpier Old Men, Warner Brothers seems to have got cold feet, because the films that Walter Matthau and also Don Lemon did after that were not very successful. So they did a remake of The Odd Couple. I think the third Grumpy Old Man film didn't do very well.
There was a third?
Yeah, well, exactly.
I didn't know that.
Grumpiest Old Men, apparently.
I've never heard of this.
Apparently. So after a string of flops and cancellations, they decided that to let Walter Matthau go into dignified retirement, and they never made it. As for this film, its budget was $35 million, and its box office was $117.3 million, so it was a definite success. It just seems like the studio, as I said, just didn't have confidence in the cast after a couple of years. And there was also a musical that was showing it around the same time as well, so that might also have put a dampener on.
Okay.
For presumably copyright reasons or something.
It says
like
unmade sequel.
For Grumpiest?
Yeah.
You know,
announced to be in development.
I've written cancellations, so that presumably is one of the cancellations that led to them getting cold feet about Matthau continuing to headline movies.
Right. To be directed or written by Mark Steven Johnson, who we've talked about for Daredevil, Elektra, and Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so waning his brief final fluorescence, rather like a corpse flower in bloom.
Yeah.
Was already beginning to wane, and they decided perhaps to give it a miss. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Christopher Lloyd, we didn't mention, is also a Trek alumnus.
Yes, of course. Of course. I'd really not mention
Commander Krug.
Yeah.
In Star Trek 3.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
That role was also the beginning of the great cultural exchange between the Klingons and Romulans. Because that was supposed to be a Romulan ship in Star Trek 3.
Oh.
Which is why it has a cloak.
Oh.
But they decided the Klingons presumably maybe made better antagonists.
So Klingons never had cloaked ships before?
I don't know.
Star Trek 3?
No, I don't think so. No, they didn't. Because that was supposed to be a Romulan ship, but they decided to swap it. And that's at that point that the Klingons, who in the original series were sinister spy masters and manipulators, and the Romulans were Roman Empire honourable warrior analogues, exchange roles.
Got it. Okay. I guess it's votes time. How are you going to vote on
the comic?
Dennis?
Okay, it's an A. These aren't for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's really well drawn.
Yeah, it's well drawn, but this humour is not. It's not for me. It's pretty bland.
Yeah.
It's pretty repetitive. Although I did read a blog post that it might have been a bit edgier in the 50s.
Okay, interesting.
Like that Dennis was a little bit more...
Oh, because he was a bit of a terror and not a Leave It to Beaver type perfect picket fences type.
The modern Dennis is apparently utterly anodyne.
Right.
And this blog post lamented that we have so many comic strips that are zombie strips, as he put it, where they literally, presumably continue to exist to perpetuate an intellectual property, an IP.
Yeah.
And they're just people just turning out pabulum, like pap.
Yeah.
Just to keep them being printed in newspapers. He said that rather like Ronald Searle, Hank Ketcham maybe came back from war with a bit of a dark edge in the early days.
Right.
And Dennis was a little bit more, I don't want to say sinister, but he said some edgy things apparently.
Yeah, okay.
But by the ones we read, he's pretty mild.
Yeah, I mean...
So I don't know. I might have to go back and read those ones.
It's a nay for me, but I mean, it's not bad. I just think that once you've read a couple, you've read them all.
Yeah, 100%. They're not like Peanuts.
I would absolutely recommend people have a look at. If you've ever heard of Dennis Menace, have a look at it. Just Google it, look at some pictures, and just have a look at some of the early strips that are really well done. But you don't need to be 250,000 of them for sure. How are we going to rate this movie?
I'm going to say nay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad film, but it's no Home Alone.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? Look, I came into it expecting it to be really disposable.
Right.
I wasn't expecting to be listing off all these names of all these writer, director, all these actors. I wasn't expecting to laugh at all in it.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be completely forgettable. It's got some good stuff in it, maybe not enough. And I think also they're trying not to make a Dennis the Menace movie. They're trying to make another Home Alone movie.
Yeah.
In some fact, what do we got like Home Alone?
What have we got that's like Home Alone? What have we got? Yeah. And doesn't Richie Rich come out around this time as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's Macaulay Culkin, isn't it?
Maybe.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So, like what have we got?
Yeah.
What have we got with a kid that can brutalize people's older gentlemen's reproductive organs? Yeah, and the plot's nothing to write home about, as we've observed. It pretty much exists to get Dennis into situations where he can elaborately cause mayhem by accidentally cause all sorts of mayhem.
I also think that Home Alone is kind of empowering for kids watching it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure who the audience of this movie is.
Yeah, exactly. Is it... Yeah.
It seems like the jokes would go over the heads of the kids that were the same age as Dennis.
100%. Like 5-year-olds.
The same age, I don't think older kids are going to feel empowered by it the way they would feel by watching Home Alone and seeing a little kid beat these criminals.
Mm.
Because he almost beats this bad guy by accident.
Yes, that's it. But it's just like it's just generic family movie, isn't it?
Yeah, by the way, the music also was really bothering me how generic the music was. The generic
It's all just very generic, and it's not... I think John Hughes has just dashed it off in a weekend or something. He's reused a few things that he's done before. There's some lazy... The resolution is fairly lazy. Mr. Wilson, I don't really think has really any reason to reconcile with Dennis.
Well, he feels guilty.
Because he ran away.
Because he ran away because of what he said to him.
Yes, sure, but also he has that complete change in personality. Well, not personality. He has like a heel face turn.
Yeah. Right?
He goes from saying that thing which he'd said at the start about how children need to just be seen and not heard, etc., etc. And in the 1920s, they behave differently, by golly. And then he's like, oh, yeah, boys will be boys. People have been telling him the whole movie long, boys will be boys, boys will be boys. Martha says Dennis's parents say it. And he's just like, no, I didn't get to. Mm. But by the end, he's saying that. He's like, boys will be boys. He'll be bored at work. It doesn't feel earned.
Yeah,
it's just, that's the way the movie has to end.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. It's not bad per se, but I can't recommend it. I mean, there's 100 other John Hughes movies. In fact,
there are way better John Hughes
by
movies.
Complete coincidence, this week my son walked in and said, Dad, let's watch Weird Science. I watched that a few nights back, and it was great. And it's like a lesser John Hughes movie, and it's
better than this
very
one.
Good. So, yeah, it's just like there's good stuff there, but not enough. There's other movies you could watch instead that have all this stuff just done better.
So that's an A then?
Yeah, it's an A. Adaptation?
I'm in two minds about this. I was going to come in and say yay.
Yeah.
Because it has a lot of stuff. There's things I recognised.
Yeah.
From the comic.
Yeah.
It had... even Switchblade Sam, there's even a hobo in one of the the strips, right? Where Dennis says, like, gee, he doesn't have to wear his Sunday best.
That's right. Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Yeah. He's like a literal homeless guy.
Yeah, or why he doesn't have a shower or something like that.
Yeah. And Dennis, does ask a lot of questions, and he does have some of those innocent observations, which...
Yeah.
But... what's much more present, I think, is him causing hijinks. And that was a lesser part of the comic, I think. There was the odd hijinks.
We'd only get the aftermath. We would get the punchline of him saying some funny line about the hijinks that had happened.
Like that he... Yeah, exactly. Or like there'd be a big pile of furniture or something, and he was going to make a bonfire out of it or something. That's all we get. We don't... He's not, like, destructive.
Yeah.
He's not like a hurricane of destruction.
Yes.
He's just kind of, like, a bit much to deal with.
Yeah. Yes,
People are exasperated by him, but he's not causing trauma, generally.
Yeah.
Whereas this one does, which I think might be something from, again, I don't know what the television series is like, but my suspicion is probably Dennis was like that in the television series. Because that's the sort of thing you could do week after week.
Yeah.
What kind of wacky thing is Dennis gonna...
Yeah.
Like Mr. Magoo or something, you know.
Yeah.
What kind of chaos is he going to cause unwittingly this week?
Yeah, based on that, I'm also going to go nay, because it's...
Yeah, so it's nay for me.
The comic's not about that kind of chaos. But I will say, I mean, we've had a lot of single-panel strips where they have to create a plot over top of that to make a movie.
Yeah.
I don't mind that they put the plot on here. I don't mind the changes to Alice and Margaret. I actually like those changes to those characters, even if they came from the TV show.
That's why I was going to say yay, but...
But the central thesis of the Dennis the Menace comic strip about the kind of innocent messes that he makes is they've tried to overlay Home Alone type hijinks.
Well, that's the other reason I'm voting no.
That's why it's
the first one would be I think it's more an adaptation of the TV series than it is of...
Yeah.
But the other reason, of course, is that it's just a John Hughes movie.
Yeah, of this era. Yes.
Or it's Home Alone 3.
Yes. Well, there is a Home Alone 3.
Home Alone 2.5.
With ScarJo in it.
Right. This is Home Alone 2.5.
Yeah, and
Dennis...
I haven't seen Baby's Day Out or Curly Sue, but I'm presuming probably similar vein.
I've not... I think I saw Baby's Day Out as a kid, but there's quite a funny review of Baby's Day Out by the Red Letter Media crew, who do it in the same voice that they do their Star Trek and Star Wars movie reviews in. And it's so weird that they reviewed this random movie. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, the kids that... The thieves that... Well, the kidnappers that kidnap the baby, they're constantly getting into humiliating and painful situations because of coincidences.
Got it.
Yeah. He seems... Yeah. John Hughes sure can write, but maybe he could have branched out a little bit in the mid-90s.
Yeah. Okay, please like, rate, review, subscribe, and share. You can contact us or drop us a DM or a comment through the email address, which you can find in the show notes, or on our Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, YouTube, or Reddit. The Reddit's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, I noticed that this week.
I actually had to delete a post.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah,
okay. I've been letting them through in the interest of
I let them through too, and I got a couple of notifications about some comments on some posts.
Yeah.
And I was like, I let that one through, and then it snowballed in a way that I wasn't liking.
That you weren't happy with? Good.
I have a friend that warned me about Reddit, and they've gamified it, which is part of the problem. Like, you can get, like, badges for scrolling, like, a certain amount and stuff, so...
To boost engagement. Yeah, all social media websites have stuff like that, don't they?
No, you don't get, like, Facebook doesn't have a number of bananas you scroll down. Reddit's like, keep going, you'll get this badge. And it's, I don't know quite how I feel. But anyway, if you want to drop a meme or something in our Reddit group, you can find the link to that.
Please do.
And please join our Patreon at patreon.com/comicbookmovieoblivion if you want to hear our spin-off podcast, Comic Book Movie Apocalypse, which is about comics-adjacent movies and adaptations, and also to help us to just pay for hosting fees and DVDs and comic books and things like that. Okay, next week, we're going to do Chicken with Plums from 2011, based on the Marjane Satrapi graphic novel from 2004, directed by herself.
Excellent. That's the second time we've done a film.
Yes.
Based on one of her works.
Yep.
And I think did she direct Persepolis as well?
Yeah, she co-directed it, and she co-directed this one as well.
Very good.
You may remember you voted nay on adaptation on that one.
Didn't we discuss this? I think we've discussed this, and I went back and checked, and I don't think I did vote nay. I think I voted yay.
Okay, all right.
Find out next week.
Yes.